Hi everybody, welcome to our third episode of our Up to Standard video series where we answer your questions about the draft strengthened aged care quality standards. Through this video series, we're aiming to support the sector to be prepared for the upcoming changes and to answer some of the questions raised in a February sector webinar where we shared how we're supporting sector readiness for the new strengthened aged care quality standards. I'm Lisa Peterson, Assistant Commissioner for Sector Capability and Regulatory Strategy here at the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission. And today's episode will focus on the main changes to the strengthened aged care quality standards, including the move to graded assessment. So our first question for today is, what are the main changes to the strengthened aged care quality standards? Well, to support the aged care sector to understand the changes, we've compared the current quality standards with the draft quality standards that were published by the Department of Health and Aged Care in December of last year. Under the current arrangements, we have 8 standards with 42 requirements, and we're moving to 7 standards with 33 outcomes and 146 actions. That might sound a bit daunting. However, the actions that will apply to you will very much depend on the circumstances of your service and the needs of the people that you care for. Among the main changes is a greater focus and some additional requirements in 5 key areas recommended by the Royal Commission into Aged Care Quality and Safety. And these include diversity, dementia care, clinical care, provider governance and food and nutrition. So to learn more about this, you can read the Strengthened Quality Standards Framework Analysis Report, and you can view a copy by using this QR code or visiting our website. Our second question for today is, how will providers be assessed against the strengthened standards? We will be using graded assessment at the outcome level and at the standard level for each of the strengthened standards when we evaluate provider performance. So graded assessment is designed to provide greater transparency to older people and to the sector about provider performance. And it also aims to promote continuous improvement. And providers will be assessed against one of 4 gradings. So firstly, conformance. That means we're satisfied with performance against the standard. There's minor non-conformance. And that's where we might see opportunities for improvement or gaps that we've identified in the provider systems and processes, but these aren't systemic and don't represent high risk to older people. Major non-conformance is where we see gaps in provider systems that are systemic and where we see issues that create high risks for the care of older people. And our 4th grade is exceeding, and we're still working on the framework for this. Our current thinking is that this would apply where a provider has achieved conformance against all of the standards and can meet some additional criteria. And of course, how a provider responds to any areas of minor or major non-conformance will inform the regulatory action that we'll take. Our last question for the day is, why are the strengthened quality standards released before the Act is completed, and will they change once the Act is finalised and released? Well, that's a great question. And the answer is that there's already been extensive public consultation on the strengthened aged care quality standards, and that started back in 2021. The Department of Health and Aged Care has released what we think is the final draft of the strengthened aged care quality standards to assist the aged care sector to prepare for implementation. And the department's now translating the strengthened standards into law under the new Aged Care Act. And as that drafting process continues, there might be some minor wording adjustments to make sure the standards are consistent with the legislation. If there are any changes, we'll certainly let you know. And the timing for the implementation of the strengthened standards will be determined by the timing of the new Aged Care Act. So the new Act has to be in place before the standards can commence. We're still consulting on our guidance resources until the end of April, and your response will help us to produce resources that are fit for purpose, easy to understand and support the delivery of quality person-centred care. And you can access the draft documents and the consultation survey on our website or through the QR code on the screen. And that's a wrap for our standards episode for today. We'll be back soon with our next episode. If you have any questions on the strengthened standards, please email us at agedcarereform@agedcarequality.gov.au. Your questions and feedback are really important and help us with the work that we're doing to prepare the sector. So thanks everyone, and see you next time.